A squirrel is sitting on the edge of a mountain road. It sees your car coming from half a mile away. It has plenty of time. It waits. You slow down. It waits. You get closer. And then, at the exact worst possible moment, it runs directly into your path. And somehow, impossibly, you both survive. You sit there for a second. Maybe you laugh. Maybe you say something about squirrels being stupid. And then you drive on and forget about it. But what just happened on that road was not stupidity. It was a 40-million-year-old survival program executing perfectly. The problem is what it was designed to survive. People say, you have the brain of a squirrel, like it's the most obvious insult in the world. But nobody ever stops to ask what that actually means. Because here is the thing. A squirrel's brain is, in several measurable ways, more impressive than yours. A squirrel can memorize the precise location of up to 9,000 individual food caches buried across an entire forest. It stores those locations across months, through seasons, through snowfall that completely reshapes the landscape. In 2010, Dr. Lucia Jacobs, a behavioral neuroscientist at UC Berkeley, published research showing that fox squirrels don't just remember where they buried food. They organize their caches by type, quality, and size, the way you might sort files into folders. She called it chunking. A squirrel's hippocampus, the region responsible for spatial memory, physically grows in autumn to handle the load, then shrinks back once winter is over. It has a seasonal brain that reconfigures itself on a schedule, so brain of a squirrel. Maybe reconsider that one. But then there's the road thing, and that one is real. To understand what's actually happening, you have to go back about 40 million years to a world where squirrels had exactly one problem that mattered: hawks, eagles, owls, aerial predators that could appear without warning, diving at speeds that left almost no reaction time. There was no running in a straight line. A hawk adjusts instantly, it's faster, and it locks on. But a target moving in an unpredictable zigzag pattern? That's a different problem entirely. Predicting the next direction of a randomly changing target requires processing time the hawk doesn't have mid-dive. So squirrels evolved a response. When a large threat appears, don't think, don't calculate, just move. Fast, random, and diagonal. Change direction. Change again. Keep changing until the threat breaks off or the cover is reached. It works. It has worked for 40 million years across every aerial predator that has ever hunted a squirrel. The survival record on this behavior is essentially perfect, and then humans built roads. Which raises the question nobody thought to ask until recently. What does a car look like inside a squirrel's brain? A car moving down a mountain road does something very specific inside a squirrel's brain. It registers as a large, fast-moving shadow approaching from above. That is the exact threat signature of a hawk beginning a dive. The squirrel's amygdala, the brain region that handles survival responses, doesn't stop to analyze. It doesn't compare options. It fires the one program it knows works: move, zigzag, get to cover. The squirrel is not panicking. It is not confused. It is executing the most reliable escape response in its entire behavioral toolkit. The fact that the threat is a 2-ton vehicle traveling at 40 miles per hour on a paved surface instead of a hawk with a 4-foot wingspan is information the squirrel's brain was simply never built to process. You are not on the list of threats its nervous system was designed to handle. You weren't supposed to exist in its world. And yet here you are, on its road, triggering a response that was ancient long before the first human ancestor picked up a stone. An estimated 41 million squirrels are killed on roads across the United States every year. Almost entirely because of this single behavioral misfire. Not because they are slow. Not because they are careless. Because the program that kept them alive for tens of millions of years produces exactly the wrong output when the input is a car. And here's where it turns into something worth sitting with. Because the squirrel is not the only animal running ancient programs in a world they weren't built for. Every time you feel a spike of anxiety in a room full of strangers, that is your threat detection system, flagging a predator risk that hasn't existed for thousands of years. Every time you eat past the point of fullness, that is a caloric scarcity response that evolved during long stretches of nothing to eat. Every time you freeze under pressure when movement would save you, that is a pre-animal stillness response your body still knows. By heart. You are not broken. You are running very old software on very new hardware. The squirrel on the road isn't making a mistake by your standards. It's doing exactly what 40 million years of successful survival told it to do. And so are you. Most of the time, you just don't realize it. The squirrel didn't cross the road because it was stupid. It crossed the road because a hawk was coming. There just wasn't a hawk. There was you. And the difference between those two things is something no amount of evolution has had time to sort out yet. All the research behind this video is linked in the description. And if you spotted the acorn hidden somewhere in this video, drop the timestamp in the comments for a shout out.